Hey guys, you got the Dragon here. Working on this Jaguar XJ8, doing some cam cover gaskets. Some people call them valve cover gaskets. And seems that people have a lot of problem with this dipstick tube. You can't get to the manifolds or the valve cover or anything without removing this dipstick tube. Hang on here, I'm going to try to switch hands. But anyway, it's bolted on that stud down there. You can see the little hole that's in the dipstick tube. You have to remove that nut, and then basically this thing, you got to wiggle it, not really side to side, but almost spinning it, and then pull straight out. It's pressed into the engine blocks. You know, it's a tapered hole, and this steel tube is pressed down in there. So basically the best thing to do is turn it side to side and then pull on it. But don't pull too hard. What you want to do is just pop it off. If you don't have to remove it, which is the best way, you just want to pop it off that stud so you can get to it and leave it there so you can get it pushed back in. If you pull it all the way out, it's almost impossible to find out where it goes and how to get the thing back in there because you can't see anything. You can't see where it's at. So you just want to pull it up enough to be able to get it out of your way, leave the dipstick in, because leave it down in the hole. The dipstick's longer than the tube, and it will guide you back in the hole. But it just pulls out and pulls in once you release that. Getting it in is a whole nother process, but basically the same thing reverse. Put a lot of pressure, not just down, because this thing is curved under. It goes down under the engine, so you have to kind of put your pressure down and in while you're wiggling it, and it'll press back in. So I hope that made sense to you. If you're working on one of these, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone I've seen on the internet or read about, they cut that loop. They cut a notch, or they do this or that. That's fine if it's your vehicle, but if you're working on someone else's, or you're trying to keep the thing nice and original, you don't want to cut that hole there. So anyway, it's really, really hard angle here, and it's hard to see what I'm talking about, but for those of you who know or are working on this, know what I'm talking about. So you see that little loop there that's attached to the dipstick, goes on that stud with a nut on it and holds it in there. So a lot of people are having trouble with that, so I just wanted to show you real quick why I'm doing this. And of course everybody knows about this tube. It's just like the Mercedes. I had a lot of problems with them in the past. This little it's kind of like an overflow tube, runs up to your overflow tank. They are super, super brittle, and they break off right here. Don't even touch it. A lot of people try to remove the line to get it out of the way. Once you unclick it from the bracket, just leave it alone. Stay away from it. They move enough that you can work around it, but if you try to take that fitting off, most likely you're going to break it. So just leave it there, work around it, take your time, don't be in a big rush. But I thought I would pause for that real quick. This is a 2000 Jaguar XJ8 Vanderplas. Thank you for watching. Dragon says peace out.